Hey, my name's Dustin. I'm gonna show you how to turn this pile of wood into a beautiful round table. Let's go. So I'm gonna be using some 8/4 alder for this project, which will be for a client. So I'll start this project out like many before it by chopping up some wood into smaller pieces just so I can glue it back together. But I'm not gonna bore you with the milling process because we all know how that's done. So let's get into the actual build. All right guys, so we're done milling the material. Now I can start gluing up the top, but I'm gonna glue it up in 2 different pieces. You'll see, watch. All right, got the tops glued up, both halves, so you can see I got a half here and a half there. I got most of the squeeze out scraped off. We're gonna let this sit for a while. While this sits, let's go start on the base. So for the base, I'm gonna need 3 blanks. 2 are gonna be 5 by 8 by 30, and the other one will be 8 by 8 by 21.
If there's not a mess up, you ain't doing it right.
I think she's funny. All right, so I got all the material cut down to size, so I'm gonna have to glue these up in 2 different sessions. I didn't have enough wide boards. I really would have liked to do this with each, like the bottom board, using 8-inch wide boards and just have all 3 of them stacked together. I'm just gonna make my own, and I think it'll be just fine. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. All right, as you just seen, I got 1/2 of the tabletop installed on the CNC, and it takes up more than half of the machine bed. So that's why I had to do it in 2 different sections. I'm gonna cut a half circle out of this piece and then repeat the same process on the other piece, and then hopefully glue the 2 pieces together to make a perfect circle with no errors, hopefully. Now we can glue it up. All right, so we got the top glued up. I got these ends as flush as I can get them. I'm hoping it turns out all right. I guess we'll see, but we're gonna let this sit and dry, and while it does, let's go work on the base. So I'm gonna be using a template just to trace the shape of the base pieces, and then I'll take it over to the bandsaw and get it to rough shape. Yep. Hey, if you like this video, be sure to smash that like button and consider subscribing to the channel. I appreciate it. Now that we're done cutting everything up at the bandsaw, I just have to spend forever sanding. Then we can glue the 2 pieces together. Then I'll add that decorative piece around the pedestal. So, like I said, I'm gonna be sanding for a while. Unless you wanna come help, feel free. But I'll probably already be done because the video is already made. Yeah.
All right, so we're done sanding everything, and I got the feet portion of the base glued up. So now I just need to create a lap joint for these two boards, and then they will attach to the base like this. And then I'll also recess out a pocket so that they kind of sit down a little bit. If that doesn't make sense, just watch. So, like I was saying, these are a lap joint. We'll go together like this, and then I recessed out this area, and it sits down in there like that. See, told you I'd show you. Well, that's not gonna work. We're gonna be using these 1/4-20 furniture bolts to go through the table base and attach to these 1/4-20 threaded inserts into the tabletop. And that's how we'll attach the base to the tabletop. Just use the bolt for depth check. So I just use the glue seam since I know it's dead center for one direction, and then I just use the tape measure to measure the opposite direction to make sure the table base is centered. Then I can use the brad point bit to transfer my hole locations to the tabletop. Then I can move the table base back out of the way. So as you can see, the small mark right there, that was left by the brad point bit. So I apply a little bit of CA glue first and then install the threaded inserts. I'm not sure if this is really necessary, but can't hurt. Now we move the base down to the ground so that we can install our leveling feet. So again, I'm gonna be using a Forstner bit to countersink the feet. These are the leveling feet that I use. I get them off of Amazon. I'll leave a link down in the description below so that you can go check them out if you wanna get some for yourself. So I just press the threaded insert in enough to where the little teeth leave a mark, and then I pre-drill it with a small drill bit. Then I line those little teeth back up, and then use a little piece of a dowel just to hammer it down. So off camera, I milled up some 3/4 inch material, and I'm making the decorative piece that will go around the pedestal. So for the top profile, I'm using a French traditional bit. For the bottom profile, it's a round over. I mitered the pieces, and then I just use the tape trick to glue it up around the pedestal base, folding everything over and using the tape to keep the joints tight.
Then we go back to the top and add an 1/8 inch round over to the top and the bottom. And then we do some more sanding. And some more. For the finish, I'm using Rubio Monaco chocolate. It's nowhere near as tasty as it sounds. Don't ask me how I know. But it's a super easy application. You just wipe it on, wipe it off, and you're done. It's pretty much been my go-to ever since I first tried it. I love it.